Well, the whole concept of sola scriptura really comes out of a response or a reaction to papism, because papism, which is what divided the East and the West, is the idea that the Pope of Rome is the head of the church and that he has jurisdiction over the whole church. Not just that he's the first among equals, but that he's the one who gets to call the shots and tell other bishops how the cow eats the cabbage. And so that split the church. And but then in the Middle Ages, you had this reaction where people were resenting the power of the Pope because the Pope was interfering in secular government and basically funneling money out of countries and you had kings and princes that didn't appreciate this happening. So they started to encourage an approach to the Bible that was designed to undermine the authority of the Pope, and ultimately it led to the Protestant Reformation, which is basically democratized papism. Everybody gets to be their own pope. Why should only one person get to be the pope? I want to be the pope.
Right.
And so that's where that comes from. And of course, once you open up the door to everybody being their own pope, you open up the door to any kind of heresy that people can imagine, and people are very creative when it comes to heresy. So Protestantism has given birth to just about anything you can imagine, including groups that wind up going back into occultism.
Yes.
And different kinds of weird pagan ideas, like the Mormons, where they basically believe that there's not just one God, but God was once a man, and we are going to become gods like him, and we're eventually going to have our own planets. And obviously, if God was once a man, that means that God has a God who created him, and basically have an infinite regress of gods creating other people who become gods.
Right.
And this is just pagan nonsense.
Right.
And of course, also because of secularism, where you've tried to run Christianity out of the public square, people are by nature religious. And so when they cease being Christian, they don't cease being religious. They just wind up embracing all kinds of other stuff, including paganism
Right.
and occultism and you name it. I mean, we've seen
Right.
it. It used to be in our culture that at least people gave lip service to this being a Christian country. And in the media, you would not find a disrespectful depiction of Christianity, and you wouldn't find people promoting things that were contrary to Christianity. But that day has passed, and
Right.
and now we have the mainstream media constantly attacking our faith and promoting any kind of heresy you can imagine.